Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island preview. The guys have to hunker down as a hurricane threatens to destroy all their work. The Curse of Oak Island team must brace themselves as they find themselves in the path of a destructive hurricane. And there's more digging in the swamp and an analysis of samples from the Money Pit area. Tonight we'll see the History Channel's Season 11, Episode 16 of The Curse of Oak Island. This episode is called Dark and Stormy, clearly a reference to the hurricane bearing down on the island. Unfortunately, the Oak Island guys are subject to the whims of Mother Nature, and the often harsh climate regularly stops them in their tracks. The team ceases operations every winter as the cold weather descends. The guys already endured flood damage at the garden shaft earlier in the season, and now it seems as though they've got a hurricane to deal with. This is likely Hurricane Idalia, which struck Nova Scotia last August, or perhaps Hurricane Lee, which hit in September. In the preview, Rick stated with plenty of dramatic emphasis, "There's no denying it. This could be the most dangerous day on the island." However, the hard work continues beforehand, and viewers can expect to see a lot of digging in the swamp tonight. Last week, Billy Gerhardt's digger started pulling up a lot of old tree stumps, which could add more fuel to the theory that the marshy area was artificially created. Oak Island team hopes to learn the swamp was created in 1200 AD. The preview showed geoscientist Davrian Spooner speculating that the wood could date back to 1200 AD, putting it at the same age as the paved area. One theory also puts Nolan's Cross in the same era. That would put the stumps in the same time period as the Templar Knights. Also tonight, the team has another expert in the war room who's been testing samples from the Money Pit area. It's unknown exactly which samples he'll be referring to, but it could relate to the proto-mortar soil samples recently recovered at Lot 5 and previously from the Money Pit. The Oak Island guys are always looking for links to the Templar Knights. Whatever the samples might be, the expert suggests they originate from the southeast of France. This could also be construed as a link to the homeland of the medieval order of Templar Knights. In the relentless pursuit of unraveling the mysteries buried deep within the cursed grounds of Oak Island, the Fellowship has faced countless obstacles, treacherous tunnels, deceptive traps, and elusive clues that seem to play tricks on the mind. But this time nature itself has decided to test their mettle. Dark clouds gather on the horizon as an ominous storm brews in the Atlantic, and the island's already eerie atmosphere thickens. The impending hurricane looms large, threatening not only the team's progress but the very integrity of everything they've toiled to unearth. Rick, Marty, and the rest of the crew gather in the war room, eyes fixed on the swirling mass of weather that dominates the radar screen. The walls are lined with old maps, artifacts, and theories of what lies beneath the island, but all that seems trivial now. "We've seen storms before, but nothing like this," Rick says, his voice tinged with concern. The island's reputation for resisting discovery is legendary, and it seems that the curse might have one more trick up its sleeve. As the winds begin to howl and the skies darken, decisions must be made. Do they secure their equipment and ride out the storm in the hopes that their painstakingly built structures, the cofferdam, the searcher shafts, the seismic arrays, survive the onslaught? Or do they retreat, risking the loss of progress and perhaps even further damage from the island's relentless curse? The team's collective determination is palpable, but so is the dread. This isn't just about treasure anymore. It's about whether Oak Island will once again thwart their efforts, this time with the unrelenting force of nature. The hurricane's approach sets a frenetic pace as the crew springs into action. Sheets of rain lash the island as they rush to secure equipment. The pounding surf grows angrier by the hour, and the wind's eerie howl intertwines with the distant groans of old trees. Craig Tester and Scott Barlow work side by side, tightening tarps over sensitive equipment, while other members rush to reinforce the perimeter of the Money Pit. The sky is a menacing palette of purples and grays, the kind of sky that suggests something more than just a storm, a portent, perhaps, of forces that do not want the island's secrets revealed. Amidst the chaos, Jack Begley stares out toward the ocean, eyes scanning the roiling waves. "This island doesn't give up its secrets easily," he mutters, more to himself than anyone else. He's been haunted by the island's riddles for years, but this time the battle feels different. It's as if the island itself is fighting back, determined to keep its secrets buried for another generation. As the full force of the hurricane slams into the island, the situation turns dire. Trees snap like twigs, sending splinters flying. Tidal surges threaten to swallow the coastline whole, and the relentless rainwater begins to flood some of the key dig sites. The meticulously installed supports and drainage systems groan under the weight of water and wind, and the crew watches in horror as one of the searcher shafts begins to collapse inward. "We're losing ground," Marty shouts over the roar of the storm. "We need to pull everyone back before we're trapped out here." The Fellowship huddles in the safety of their command center, listening as the island is battered by the storm outside. But there's no solace inside those walls, only the gnawing anxiety of what they might find once the skies clear. Will their search efforts be completely wiped out, or, perhaps even more disconcerting, will the island have shifted in ways that obscure the very clues they were so close to deciphering? But Oak Island has always been a place of paradoxes, a site where hope and despair are inextricably linked, where progress can turn to ruin in an instant. The storm rages on, and as the hours crawl by, it seems to pulse with the same malevolent energy that has guarded the island's secrets for centuries. The walls shake, and the ground vibrates as the island endures yet another chapter of turmoil. Finally, the eye of the storm passes over, offering an eerie calm. The world holds its breath. The skies lighten, revealing the extent of the destruction. Fallen trees, debris, and waterlogged trenches scar the landscape. The once carefully organized search site is now a chaotic tangle, with much of their equipment either buried or rendered inoperable. But there's something more, something that sends a chill through the team as they step out into the aftermath. The island has changed. Features that were once familiar now seem altered, almost as if the island itself has shifted beneath their feet. The curse isn't just one of traps and tricks, it's one of time and transformation. The skies above Oak Island darken with an ominous shade of gray, the kind that sends a shiver through even the most seasoned of explorers. For Rick and Marty Lagina, this was more than just another storm. It was a hurricane, a relentless force of nature that threatened to undo years of hard work, unearthly discoveries, and the unwavering hope of finally uncovering the island's long-buried secrets. As the first gusts of wind whipped across the island, sending a chill through the air, the team gathered in the war room. The mood was tense, each man fully aware of the stakes. They had come too far, dug too deep, to let a storm rip away everything they had fought for. "We need to secure the equipment," Rick's voice cut through the tension, his calm demeanor masking the turmoil he felt inside. "We can't afford to lose anything." Marty nodded, his mind already racing with the logistics of what needed to be done. The hurricane, dubbed Delilah, was moving quickly, faster than anticipated. There was little time to spare. Jack Begley, ever the optimist, tried to lighten the mood. "At least we won't have to worry about mosquitoes for a while," he quipped, though the nervous chuckle that followed betrayed his anxiety. But there was no denying the seriousness of the situation. The hurricane's path was clear. It was headed straight for Oak Island, a direct hit. The team had been through storms before, but nothing like this. The excavations, the delicate artifacts they had uncovered, even the very ground they stood on, everything was at risk.